To kick off day 2 action here in the T20 Festival season 2026. Action between KFC Clarke Road United and Profilbao Victoria Sports Club. We have the two captains out here as well as match referee, and we're about to have the toss, so let's give that coin a flip. So KFC Clarke Road United has won the toss and elected to have a bowl first. So let's go through your team. Any major changes here?
No major changes. Same team from the 50 over squad. Just our skipper is missing due to a small injury, but he should be back soon.
Thank you very much and have a good game today.
Thank you.
What would you have done had you won the toss?
Well, actually, we was gonna look to bowl first. You know, we see that there's a little weather around the ground, so nevertheless, we opted to bat, center bat. So it's just for us to go and put up a big total.
And any major newcomers into the team?
Um, no, we just some players just switch from different teams. So like we have the Bab, Matthew Patrick, and those players coming to play with us for the T20.
Thanks very much and go well today. So news from the middle is that KFC Clarke Road United has won the toss and elected to have a bowl.
So there you have it as we welcome you here to the Queen's Park Oval for Game 3 of the Trinbago Knight Riders TTCB T20 Festival for 2026. And of course, we have a interesting one here this evening. As you would have heard there, Clarke Road won the toss and opted to field first against Victoria, the Profilbao Victoria United Sports Club. And that's the situation as it's presented to us at this point in time. And we look forward to a good game. Again, congratulations to the two teams from last evening that came up with victories. Queen's Park, they took care of business. 153 for 5 against Presal, who could only get 128 for 9 in 17 overs. And Queen's Park winning there by 25 runs. And in the other encounter, Geofrank Motors Central Sports Yorkshire up against Prison Sports Club, 241 for 6 Central Sports Yorkshire, and Prisons 154 for 7 in reply. It meant that Central Sports won by 87 runs, so congrats to them. Here we have another interesting encounter as we look ahead to this one that promises to be keenly contested. We trust that it's going to maybe go down to the wire, but you know how some of these games go sometimes. They start out being one thing and then they turn into something else when it's all said and done. So Srinitas, it looks like, who is going to pick up the attack from the pavilion end. So Dexter Sween getting his hands on the ball first up. I'm sure he's looking forward to this opportunity here because not all the time he gets a chance to get first strike here with the new ball. But that's what it is for him as we speak. And that's a good delivery coming back in. You could just see the shape of it, just making a nice little curl and creating just enough of a bother to force the Jeremiah just having to wait. And that's another nicely lined delivery. So pretty good start this from Sween. So Jordan Warner is his opening partner. That's well played. That's brilliantly played for 4. What a way to get off the mark and to start proceedings here on day 2 of this tournament. Pitched up a little bit of swing, but it's early swing and right there in the slot. He didn't try to hit it too hard, with more placement than anything. And he got just reward. Just wide enough to allow him to free his arms, and he didn't miss out. 4 good-looking runs there for Jeremiah. Just teasing it. No, responded. In fact, Warner couldn't get out the way. The ball ricocheted off of him, maybe off his bat, and that might have robbed them of 4 runs because that was traveling. In the end, they didn't even get a run. Well, after all of that, such a good shot for nothing. Cricket could be cruel sometimes. This time, he will get a wide, probably trying to push it. Sween maybe trying to change the angle. All the others were coming into the left-hander. He probably tried to push that one across him. Started it wide and it stayed wide. Really glorious conditions here at the Queen's Park Oval. As you can see, there's some greenery, but it's brown and parched at other points. It's been pretty hot today, although we did have some rain last evening. We're hoping that it stays away and allow the 2 games to be completed in total. In the air he goes this time. There is cover out there, and they will have to settle for just the 1 run to end the over, and at the end of it, 6 without loss after 1. So the teams change over quickly, and Victoria, I'm sure, would be trying to get some early wickets. That's always the hot ticket. If you can do that, then you're in business. Oh, that's gone wide, and it stays wide. Really a wayward delivery down the leg side, and it just kept going and going and going. And what a badly lined delivery that the wicketkeeper never had. Cruikshank could only look at it. So Clinton Pestano. This is in the air over the head of the man at the mid-off, just at the edge of the circle. And once it clears his head, there's no cover on the long off boundary for good-looking runs. Deliberately played again, getting under it and getting it over. This is good cricket. He's going to have to hurry. Just not able to pick it up. Pastano, he was trying to do two things at once there. And in the end, he did neither. And he was following through nicely off his own bowling. He obviously read it very well. But going to his right, which is a stronger arm, he needed to pick up the ball cleanly and then throw down the stumps at the striker's end. But as has happened a myriad of times, the fielder fails to pick up the ball, and what looked promising ended up being nothing in the end. That's a good delivery. A little late movement there. And just for a moment there, Warner not able to catch up with it, playing a little bit away from his body as well. Again, driven nicely. Good contact, but placement a little bit off there. Can't beat the man at mid-off who's just waiting for it to come through to him. Little change in line there, just closer to that leg stump. And Warner again trying to maybe get down to the pitch, get some momentum going into the shot. Found that it was just cramping him a little bit. And again, that's a careless shot there. He was going across the line. Now, it might have brushed him on the pad. It did brush the pad. Probably just a little too high, says the umpire. But it's 4-leg, boys. It was always climbing. Yep. Always going up. And so at the end of over number 2, they've moved on nicely to 20 without loss. So Mark Dial it is, who's going to pick up the attack. Just a 1 over from Sween. Wasn't a bad over. Conceded 6 runs in that first over. It might just be a plan, a way to get all the bowlers involved early. Everybody gets an over, possibly 2. So let's see what Dial can offer. There's a strong appeal, and Dialgo is running there, thinking that he's going to get an affirmative response from the umpire, who just looks at him as if to say, I'm not sure you're seeing the same thing I am seeing. And but it's pretty close. He put his foot right across that leg stump there, and maybe the angle might have been taking it, and that probably would have been the thinking of the umpire. In the gap it goes. This is going to take some stopping, and it's brilliantly stopped in the end there. So just for a moment there, it looked like he was struggling a little bit to catch up to that one, but it was a nice stop in the end. So just a one run, what looked for a moment like it was going to race away for a boundary. That's brilliant. That's gone. First maximum of the afternoon, and a big one at that. Really a nice, sweet swing of the bat. And have some of that, says Warner. And Dale and again, he's going after him here now, trying to get at him, but Dale smartly pitching it right up, almost stifling the power in the shot. You got a single all the same. One more, the ball ticking over nicely now. It's up to 28 for no loss. We're in over number 3. The first from Dial, who took over from Dexter Sween, who bowled the first over and conceded 6. Dial has, from his first 4 deliveries, have gone 2 more than that. Congrats again today to Sunil Narayan and Ovman Powell. KKR picking up a big win in the IPL. They're some way away from getting into the playoffs, but they're trending in the right direction after a horrendous start. That's another great shot. That's in the gap. That too is going to run away. That's 4 runs. Really, he just leant into it. Didn't hit it hard at all, but boy, the placement was perfect from Jeremiah. He just, look at how easily he stroked that into the gap there. The man at extra cover and the man at mid-off thought for a moment that he had a chance, only to realize that there was none there. Bhutan could only watch it run away from him. There's a nice ring on the offside, a short third man, a point, cover, extra cover, and a mid-off. All at the edge of the circle, and trying his best to get it through there, but Pastano's in the way, and he can't get it through. So a little bit of, actually it wasn't Pastano, that was Keon Otley, just at that backward point position with the red hat, sun hat. That ends the over. The 3 in the books now. It's 32 without loss. So another change at the top end or the commentary box end. Shiva Sankar is going to pick up the attack. So it's 1 over each. So far, this will be the 4th bowler in over number 4. Two for 14, his best so far. And immediately, you could just see Warner trying to throw him off his line there. But having a big swish, there's no time to wait to see what the bowler is doing. Guys are just trying to put bat on ball and get things going. That's a much better delivery, and he looked even worse off with that swing because he was nowhere near the ball. The ball just seemed to climb from a pretty good length. This time he gets aerial. There's a man out there waiting, and he takes the catch. Right down his throat, literally standing on the boundary there and accepting it. Warner goes to 7, and wicket in the bag. 32 for 1 now. So Jesse Bhutan, the man taking that catch out in the deep there. So when you win the toss and you insert the opponents, you obviously want to take wickets. And you want to take those wickets early, and this is a good start here for Sanka. 3 balls, no run on a wicket. Take that every day. In fact, what it did, and this is how cricket could be cruel sometimes. That delivery was probably the worst of the 3 that he bowled. He couldn't get a wicket with the first 2, but he did get one, did get the wicket with the wider delivery. Leonardo Julian is at the crease now. As he tries to get himself warmed, hoping to probably get after the bowling as quickly as possible. He does present a left-hand scenario for the bowlers. And again, Julian sort of like on the front foot, really was just advancing down the wicket. And swung a little too early. Missed out there because had he hit that, he would have at least gotten a single, if not more. There's a big gap there. There's a square leg and a fine leg. Those are the 2 men out in the power play overs. Everybody else is at the edge of the circle. Short third man, backward point, cover and mid off, mid on, mid wicket. Those are the men in the circle plus the keeper. Another short ball, and again Julian is swinging, but he's only going to get a single. He doesn't really make proper contact with it. And in fact, Sanka would probably consider himself very lucky there that he wasn't punished on either of those two deliveries. On both occasions, the new batsman failed to take advantage. And again, this one probably pitching outside leg. It probably would have hit the stumps, but I think it's clear that one was pitching outside leg stump and going across the left-hander. Well outside the leg stump. I don't think there was even much of a debate in that one. That ends over number 4. And at the end of 4 overs, 34 for 1 victory after they were put in by Clarke Road. It looks like Sween is coming back into the attack now for his second over. So they're trying to mix it up and not allow the batsmen to get too comfortable against any one bowler. So Sween for his second over. He will start over number 5. And that pitched very close to the other pitch. And if it did, instead of being a wide, it could so easily have been a no ball. I'm surprised the batsmen are not protesting a little bit more, but let's look at it. Very close indeed. But I think the umpire got it right. It was just on that line there. And taking care of business there. Akil Mullen out in the deep. He too is wearing that red sombrero. Surprised we have so many players. Well, I guess it's a lot cooler now, but when play started, it was very hot indeed. And I'm surprised we had so many players without any kind of headgear. No caps, no sun hat, no sombrero, nothing at all. Just braving it in the heat. And he goes again, and again he's just touching down right on the line there. He's really flirting with danger here because just, I would say, a centimeter or two, a little wider there, it would probably qualify as a no ball as opposed to a wide. And if it's a no ball, it's a free hit. And that's the difference. That was a little bit tricky there. I thought that one was wider than the first mark. And it just kept going. Remember, there are 2 lines out there. The first one is really a guide for the umpires. And that's good cricket, recognizing that everybody's on the at the edge of the circle there. There are plenty of quick singles to be had if you could just push and run. And then when you catch them coming in, then you hit it past them into the gaps. But remember, you only have a few overs now to do that. In fact, you only have 1 over after this one. This is over number 5. We're midway there. Swing again is going very wide indeed. And this time it's signal wide. Now, the wicketkeeper and, of course, the bowler are not happy because the batsman was very close to the ball, but he was swinging so hard he almost fell over trying to catch up with that one. But the angle took it away from him. And I'm not quite sure if Sweden, they even recognizing that first line that is the guideline. Once we're outside of that, it should be a wide. And again, so maybe Sweden has decided the best thing to do is to give the umpire a little bit of work to do. And again, he's going hard at it, trying to catch up with that one there. That was a big hit, a big attempt there by Jeremiah. And that's a better delivery. Again, the batsman is flirting outside there. The ball jumped over the bat, but it started wide and it ended up even wider. Now the umpire is signaling to his colleague that there are 2 left, but that's if this one isn't another wide, because he's bowled a proliferation of wides. In fact, the first ball bowled was a wide. The third ball bowled was a wide. The fourth and the fifth were wides. And so he's really putting out that angle has prompted the captain to take off the man at point in the circle, push him back onto the fence. So there's a point on the boundary and a third man. Those are the 2 men out. Another easy single. Not much Keon Otley could do to prevent that one, and I think he recognized that. 42 for 1 now after 5. This is another short ball, again produced by Pestano, who's back for his second over. Really a good opportunity there for him to really free his arms. He just seemed to, almost as if he wasn't sure if he should attack it, but it was a short delivery Really just sat up there, but he couldn't take advantage of it. Leonardo Julian, he can be very destructive when he gets going, and I'm sure Victoria will be hoping he does precisely that. Slower delivery and treated with respect, but they'll still pinch a single. And again, trying his best there. That one would have come off the helmet. He was trying to swing it, and neither one of the batsmen have been able to pick up with that short ball. It is a leg by because it struck him on the helmet, but they're going to have to get the normal protocols. Once he's struck on the helmet, and I'm surprised that the trainer hasn't been brought on because it's almost like a given now. Once you're struck anywhere on the helmet, and I think they're calling for it now, just for him to check the helmet as well as the safety of the batsman, because concussion is a peculiar animal, as they say, because you may be feeling okay and then all of a sudden you start seeing blurred. All of a sudden you have headaches and you don't know what the onset is or what caused it. We need to think back. It's the blow to the head. So finally the trainer is out there making sure. And everything seems to be okay, and the helmet is back on, so he we answered the basic questions. How many fingers are you seeing? If you put up 2 and you said 3, well, then that could be a problem. But then knowing some players, they'll probably say 3 just to get a laugh out of the trainer. And again, nicely played by Julian. They want a second run, and but it's not there. The umpire picked up a peculiar position because where he was standing, he was almost in the firing line there for that return, and he then had to look to his left where the fielder was, and then also look back to the right where the stumps are, because the throw was aimed at the non-striker's end. So kind of a peculiar position there, because it looked like he could have been struck with the ball. Pastano again, slow delivery, pitching up all the same, and nicely picked off there by Jeremiah. He inches on by 1 as the score ticks over. So after 6 overs, it's 47 for 2 Victoria after they were put in. Well, that should be 47 for 1. So Jeremiah on 19, Leonardo Julian on 4. Pro Filbo Victoria probably would like to up the tempo here just a little bit more. They've only lost the 1 wicket. And now they've decided to switch ends with Sanka. Sanka, who got the only wicket to fall so far, will have his second over, but from the bottom end or the pavilion end. Quick single being taken and just touching down. Would have been touch and go. Whether or not he would have been out is would have been a close decision because the return was the attempt was not a bad one at all. There, Mohan took aim and fired. There are 2 quick movers between the wickets. These 2 left-handers. So he thought initially of coming to the strikers end, but probably realized that the man was safe. Julian was safe at this end, so he tried to go to Jeremiah's end. And Julian picks this one over the head of the wicketkeeper. It's really an annoying shot if you're a bowler and a captain, a fielding captain. It's 4 runs, as we had the Dill scoop that used to annoy the hell out of players because you can't set field for that. And here, I mean, long time you used to have long stump for precisely a shot like that. But it's a kind of it's an old-fashioned position, as they say. It's out of style now. But I've seen some teams do that in England. In fact, Ben Stokes somehow convinced his players that they could use field placings like those, and it sometimes seemed to work. And again, Julian looking up at the umpire as if to say, umps. He may have blind, but the umpire is not at all interested in that. If you're a cycling fan, you have the Giro d'Italia Femme and the Giro d'Italia in earnest. Julian again is driving and missing. He just seems a little bit out of sorts. And because I think it's safe to say he's not settled. You look at him, he's on the move a lot of times trying to play these shots. If he just settles himself, keep his base steady, and then work from there. But he's seemingly trying to play the ball on the move a lot of times, and it's not working out for him so far. But again, just middle 1 and everything can change. That's kind of the nature of the white ball cricket. You hit 1 into the gap and then everything else seemed to come off the middle of the bat and you wonder what changed. But that's kind of more like it. You don't want to waste deliveries. Even if you can't score a boundary, you want to at least be rotating strike. Get Jeremiah back on strike as quickly as possible. Sanka with the final delivery of his second over. And this one is run down to third man nicely. But uh, Akil Mullen is stationed out there, so they will only get a single at the end over number 7, and at the end of it, it's 54 for 1. We are busy here doing our stuff. Others are active in other parts of the country. There's a ball in the air, just short, and again, just trying to turn it on the onside and not able to pick it up nicely. Vikash Mohan almost breaking through first ball. This should be 2 runs if they hurry. They go for 1. Julian is going to come back and he's going to get it 2 because unable to pick it up there cleanly would have been Bhutan, and the batsman able to complete that second run. And again, this time they decide to settle for 1, I should say. That's because Akil Mullen was quickly off the boundary, a long on. That'll bring Julian back on strike. Trying to tickle that one there, Julian, down the leg side. Just brush the pad on the way through, but he doesn't get a single. There's a short, fine leg in place. And there's a man on the deep square leg boundary and a deep mid wicket as well. They go for 1 quickly. They might be thinking of a second, but once again, just sort of eyeballing them as if to say, go now. Jesse Bhutan was just, I would say, playing bush cricket there. Just jogging in as if to try to set them up to go for that second one. But they read the play. 58 for 1 now after 8. So again, it's a report coming to hand is that there was a robbery at the National Cricket Centre in Vancouver, but we understand that the staff is safe, which is good news. They might have just made their way over with some cash and cell phones. And Julian trying to play a real agricultural shot there, ball outside the off stump. He was trying to swing it through the onside, hit the under edge of the bat, hit his pad, but they still scampered a quick single. And so he goes up to 11 rather from 14, and Jeremiah, who's on 24 from 26, is back on strike. And that one is going up. There is a man there, but he'll just be watching. He's spectating as it sails out the ground there at that deep mid-wicket position. And it's a short boundary because the pitch they're playing on is it's very close to the edge of the square. And so the boundary on that side, the western side, is really a stone's throw away. Even if you tip it, it could go for 6. As that was the case there. That one went high, but it had enough legs on it to take it. Normally that would have been where the Heraldo Santos stand was. And there's another wide delivery there. So Sanka, trying to compensate now, decided to go outside the off stump. So the Queen's Park Oval. We'll have a test match here later on this year. Pakistan, the second test. First test will be played at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. And that will be an historic first in terms of test match cricket. Already we've had T20s on 1 days played at the Brian Lara, but no test match. So Pakistan will christen the venue with the West Indies. And that one is up in the air again. Somebody must come and claim it. The keeper has it, and then he drops it. Well. And there was a slight collision at the non-striker's end. The umpire and Jeremiah came into contact. I don't know if Jeremiah stepped on the umpire. No, he's just attending to his boot. Might have been spiked in the toe there. And he has a red shirt and a red shoe with some blood seeping through them. This one goes up in the air. It went high, and coming a long way across there was Sukwa to try to haul it in. And he got both hands to it, and he has on the glove, so everybody just kind of stepped away from him as if a man with a bad body odor, and he just spilled it all by himself. And again, just trying to be cute, he just tried to run it down to third man maybe. Almost chopped it on. So congratulations again. Last evening we saw a very robust innings from Canal Lewis, the big Jamaican. 115 from 50, 6 fours and 10 sixes. And that's how much the game has changed. Got to go again for a quick single. This is suicidal, and he's out. Julian doesn't like it, but it was always going to be a tough one. And it needed a direct hit, and it got the direct hit. And Julia will have to go for 11. You could see him there. He might be in some kind of agony there because he was diving into the crease. He obviously thinks he got in, and the umpire thought otherwise. And it's difficult to determine, but let's see here as he comes screaming in. The ball is picked up, and the return is a direct hit. And when there's a direct hit, there's always just that little bit of, and you see the bat is still in. He might have been in actually. When you look at it, he did have the bat on the ground, and he did get it over the line, but the umpire decided that he will give the benefit of the doubt to the fielder and give him. But at the end of it, it's 67 for 2. And he goes run out for 11 runs. So actually 68 for 2 as Julian makes his way off. And he just seemed to be a little bit hobbled, but it might be the strapping on the pad or something that is making it difficult for him to walk properly. Or it might be a groin, but you don't want that to start the tournament. And immediately getting off the mark with a nice little paddle shot is wicketkeeper batsman Jeremiah Cruikshank. So as that over comes to an end, 69 for 2 at the end of it. So Mohan continues here. That's a brilliant cut shot. They go for one. Cruikshank is going to have to do some work here, but the return is not the best. It needed another bullet-like return, but because of the distance, on that occasion, he couldn't beat the man there, Bhutan. From that distance, that was always gonna require a very powerful return. Needed a Keith Boy's arm to get that in there to effect a run out. That's a nice shot into the gap. It's not going to get to the boundary. I don't think it has the legs to get there. And they will be happy with 2. Pushes the score now up to 73 for 2. Remember, KFC Clarke Road won the toss and they opted to field first. So Victoria will be trying to post a winning total that proved a bridge too far for the Clarke Road outfit. And again, that one got under the fielder there. He seemed to have it covered. And then it just kind of crept under his body. Just had Pestano out there that the batsmen are able to get a single. So the left-handed Jeremiah, who's on 32. Another comfortable single. Just good cricket. If you're not going to swing and aim for the fences, then keep the scoreboard ticking over. In fact, I've noticed almost a pronounced change in the local domestic cricket where people tend to, that's a good shot also. But again, it's just the one run. That's brilliant fielding from out in the deep. Again, from the big on Jesse Bhutan, limiting them to just the one run. The end of the over. 10 completed now. 76 for 2 as the Victoria team, they were put into bat by KFC Clarke Road United. Players will get some refreshment. We'll take a break and come back. Welcome back as the players are a little bit refreshed, so they're getting ready for the second half of this innings. 10 overs completed and 76 for 2 at the end of it. So Mark Dial is going to get us started, get us underway after the interval. And Cruikshank driving but not able to get any power at all into the shots. And it really is going to take a big effort now from the Victoria batsman to really get things going here. Now there's one fielder in front of the bat in the circle, and twice now Cruikshank has picked out the same man. But he just needs to open the face, and he's bowled him. He went right across it this time. Instead of playing it through the offside, he tried to go across it and lost his stump. It just knocked the bails off. So Cook, instead of driving it, probably didn't want to hit it to the same fielder again, just as I was making the point. But he went all around it and lost his wicket. So that's wicket number 3. Going by the way now, 76 for 3. So Eric Garcia is going to make his way into the middle. Somebody's going to have to stick around with Johan Jeremiah if they are to get a really big score here. And they must be thinking partnerships now, because every little bit helps when you're trying to build a total. So where the West Indies women was celebrating, 50 years since they played that historic test against Australia. And the Brown sisters, who were like the forerunner to Anne Brown, who's now an administrator, former Trinidad captain. She also played hockey for Trinidad, played football for Trinidad. Very multi-talented and very sporting family, because Quan Brown, Anne Brown's nephew, is considered among the best hockey players in the world. They are again, and they'll just get a single for it. Garcia probably would like more, but he won't get it. So when you see the two Brown sisters, but they were always pioneers, because they just had a few teams playing, but they were so good. You just knew that they were going to be outstanding cricketers. Here he goes again. They are just doing enough to encourage the batsmen to try to play really unorthodox shots as they try to get after him, sensing that this is the second half of the innings and they need to get a move on. But good bowling and good fielding can frustrate that. So they are 1 for 14 so far. Sankar 1 for 19, and the other one a run out. So 78 for 3 now after 11 overs. So you're going to have another change in bowling. Kerwin Sergio. So Sergio to start his first over. And this one is up in the air again. The keeper is coming. There might have been a collision there. That could have ended so badly. But luckily, they were able to sort it out. And that is the big fish. Jeremiah goes for 34. In a rather soft dismissal, one would have to say. He never really gave himself a chance against the new bowler Sergio. And he had a big swing, just spooned it in the air. But look at three men converging. Two of them actually collided. Luckily, on this occasion, the wicketkeeper held on for dear life. I'm sure he would not have wanted to spill another one. But Sukwa, probably the most relieved man there, came up with it. So So 78 for 4 now. So, so Damian Joachim makes his way to the crease. Two new batsmen at the crease now. So this is a critical juncture here now. If Victoria are not careful, they can really slip away if they continue to lose wickets. Especially losing them cheaply in this middle passage. And you can just sense a change in attitude now from Clarke Road, KFC Clarke Road. They want wickets and hear a lot more chatter, a lot more encouragement. In the air, just wide of that short extra cover. And just as I was saying, that they have this little pep in their step now. They know that they can probably do some serious damage here now if they can prize out a few wickets. Still a little drizzle on the ground. It's been fairly overcast. Very cool conditions here now at the Oval. That's nicely played. And even though you only got a single for it, you could see real intent there. Good quality shot from Cruikshank, from Eric Garcia rather. And tall, stylish right-hander. And that was again a good delivery delivered there by Sergio. Since he's come on, he's caused some real issues for the batsman. He has a wicket already. Still can't get it away. So that ends the over. And at the end of it, it's now 80 for 4. 12 overs completed. So it looks like Dale is going to continue here. Picked up a wicket, probably wants another one or two more. They're going to have to hurry there again, a little indecision. When the ball was played, initially you saw Garcia taking off as if he was confident there was a run there. And then as the fielder closed in on the ball, he almost changed his mind to send his partner back. He eventually got the run, but there was a little butterfly, a little flutter of the heart there, because they don't want another run out. They've already lost Julian. It's a brilliant bit of fielding. The near collision there between the bowler and the batsman. And almost tripped him up, but he stayed on his feet. So a comfortable single to keep the scoreboard ticking over. Not the pace at which Victoria would have probably liked to be going right now, but you could understand a little restraint. Can the bowlers enjoying themselves here? Batsmen are not able to get on top of them in any way, form, or fashion. It's really a question of consolidating here now. They've lost some early wickets, and they're looking for two. They go quickly. They're going back for the second run, but that would have been suicidal, really. And as they say, they were flirting with danger there. Again, brilliant bit of fielding. Coming off the boundary, was that Akil Mullen there rushing in and making life difficult for them. And edged, but the attempt at a sliding stop there, that short third man position, he missed the ball completely. And he didn't go with his hands. In fact, he went with his legs, Sukhdev Singh, and it just eluded his body. There he goes. He's trying to kick it, but he left the little gate open there, and it passed right through that window. And down to the boundary it goes for 4 to end the over. And at the end of that over, 13 gone now. It's 87 for 4. So there, I wouldn't be happy with that. There's 3 overs costing him 21 runs, 87 for 4. Sergio. And again, a big swing, but that's an educated edge because it goes wide of the man down there at that deep square leg position. Sween does a little bit of football, stops it, and then completes the fielding with his hands. He's a big fella, Sween. Takes an awful lot to move that locomotive. And then to ask him to bend down, really asking for trouble there. And again, they could get a quick, easy single. So they're taking the scores over nicely. They just haven't been able to really get at the bowling right now. And another easy single. And this is the time they should have been pushing for 2. and they just opted to just take a quick single and settle for the one. But I suppose the run out is causing that, but they really need to up the tempo here. That could easily have been 2 runs. And what made it so possible was because the bowler was the one tracking the ball, so there was nobody at the stumps. Nevertheless, they opted to take just the 1 run. So we had another test match on today. Was it Bangladesh? Pakistan. Bangladesh batting first. This time he's decided that he's going to take matters into his own hands. A nice little slug sweep there for a maximum. So Eric Garcia has decided that enough was enough and pitched up into the slot and deposited over mid-wicket for 6 runs. So Victoria goes to 97 for 4. They need a lot more right now. And again, flirting with danger there. Short enough. He could have really rocked back and spunk it. And instead he tried to nibble it, probably to pick up a quick single and get back on strike as the over comes to an end. But he missed. At the end of it, it's 97 for 4 now after 14. So Garcia's on 13. Joachim on 7. Four batsmen out. Jeremiah for 34, Warner for 7, Julian for 11. Cruikshank also stayed in single digits. They're really not able to dictate to the bowlers so far, but I'm sure that could change in a flash. All they need is a couple big strikes. Damian Joachim. And he has decided that there should be liftoff, and there is liftoff here. And again, in the general area where the Dos Santos stand was, it's not there anymore. And away it goes. So the umpires are just going to have a little change of ball. So that the ball bounced and went out the ground. And I think that's exactly what happened. Now, there is concrete over there. So if it hits that concrete at all, it's just going to bounce and loop over the wall. I'm always fearful when you play at a venue where there is general traffic almost at every corner. And when batsmen are swinging like we just saw there, innocent people driving, minding their own business or walking, unawares as to what is happening inside the oval here, but either get themselves a nice little souvenir as they're walking by, or could be visiting the doctor, which you don't want. So is it Mark Dale who's going to bowl out his 4th over now? So Dale it is who's going to try to finish up strong here. Really need him to concentrate on this over. He knows that they're coming after him, so he has to really be mindful here. Every delivery has to be a concentrated effort. Can't for one ball just drop that guard. Just a long off, long on, deep mid wicket, square leg, deep square leg on the boundary. And this is very well hit again. He almost took his teammate out of the way. I don't know if they have a little grudge going on, but Garcia almost left Joachim lying on the ground there. Again, they want a quick single, but can't get it. So they are mixing it up here quite nicely, frustrating the batsmen, not giving them too much to work with. Every run counts now because they're hard to come by. And this has been a bit of a grind for Victoria outfit. They really need to get a move on here. Won't get anything there. It's the end of the over. And at the end of it, it's 106 for 4.
The 15 overs completed, 106 for the loss of 4 wickets. Last year on 14, Joachim on 15.
So Dale has bowled out his 4 overs, costing him 30 runs, 1 for 30 for Mark Dial.
Dexter Sween.
So Dexter Sween is back into the attack now. Remember, he bowled the first over, then he bowled the 5th over. Here he is now. So Dexter Sween is going to start a new over, his 3rd. Not for 14 so far. This one again, not really timing very well. So batsman change ends now. Damian Garcia looking to blast his way around, but Eric Garcia also, Damian Joachim rather. Again, very well played by looking for any opportunities here. These two have had it 30 so far. Garcia would love to push on, maybe get a half-century partnership, if not a century. Sween, who's had his issue with wides. Let's see if at the end, the change of end tightens up things for him. Still, they keep trying to see if they could get as many runs as possible, but Sween and company not cooperating. Just 3 singles in the over so far. That's a good delivery. Beating him all, ends up pitching up outside the off stump. And the batsman just looking to run it. Really a tough scenario for them. Apart from the 3 singles, now you have a dot ball, so it goes from bad to worse for the batting team. And well bowled again. They will get the single this time. Again, Sween bowls another peach of a delivery, and they can't score. So the runs are not coming the way they would like. Singles, it's not going to hurt at all. Again, they can't seem to get him out of harm's way. 111 it is for 4 after 16. $111 for 4, and clearly something's got to give here now, because they must be thinking they're some distance away from where they would like to be in terms of a final score or challenge in total. Let's see if they can get after Clinton Pestano. Not for 14 from his 2. Flying away past point, that there is cover on the boundary. And so they persist with these singles, not really getting anything positive and by way of boundaries. Nothing so fanciful for them. It's been a bit of a struggle right now for them to get the scoreboard ticking over. It's nice cool conditions here, so the fielding team wouldn't be too disappointed. Down the wicket he goes, and has an almighty swoosh at it. But Garcia can't make any contact at all. Will be encouraged to keep his eyes on the ball if he intends to hit it. So this is a good effort with the ball from Clarke Road so far. I don't know if they want to spoil it now. And just as I say so, commentators curse. He bowls are wide. So remember, there are double headers every night. We have a second game coming your way after this one. And then we'll have double headers on Saturday and Sunday. And then the tournament takes a break. After that slightly slower delivery into the gap. Sween does well. For a moment there, it looked like it was going to go past him, but the big fella got down there, got both hands to it, and picked it up cleanly. Didn't bobble it. Didn't have to chase after it. There's no deflection. Good, clean pair of hands. But again, just a single. 114 for 4 now. And that one is going. This could be a catch, but takes it on the bunks. And they'll be limited to just a 1 run once more. So it's been a tough last couple of overs where they have not been able to really get the ball out of the park or even up against the ropes. And it hasn't been for a lack of trying. They just don't have the mechanics to do it. And here they go again. Good strong hit out into the deep. But Garcia will be disappointed that he could only get a single from it. Yeah, they really need some boundaries here now. And when I say a few, I mean as many as they possibly can. Maybe if they have 18 deliveries after this, they probably need to get at least 5 or 6 of those out of the ground. Yet again, a single is all they'll get from that to end the over. Not a bad over. 17 completed now. 117 for 4. And again, they have it right in their grasp here now. Victoria, the problem is they can't seem to find boundaries, but they have wickets in hand, so they can afford to really extend themselves now. And it's not that they're not trying, they're trying, but they're just either picking out the fielders in the deep or they're just not middling the ball as well as they would like, and they can't find the gaps. That's probably the number one issue here. The gaps, they can't seem to locate them. So Shiva Sankar is back into the attack for his final over. 3 overs so far, 1 for 19. Looking for his second wicket of the afternoon. Won't get it there, but it'll just be a single, so they're just limping along and not really rushing along. You would think with that many wickets in hand, someone of these two would take control of proceedings here and maybe muscle a few over the lopes. But this fella can. Let's see if he gets an opportunity to do so. Can Sankar keep him quiet? Can big swing, but no timing. And again, another big effort, but just a single. So all in all, KFC Clarke Road would be thrilled. If it stays this way right through to the end, they won't mind. Because these two haven't really been able to hurt them that much with quick runs, big overs. 119 for 4. 137 the projected score. I'm sure they'd like more than that. And here they go again. That's a good shot. That one is into the gap. And welcome. Very much a welcome boundary. One would have to say there. Because Damian Joachim he pulled it from just about middle stump. It was sitting up on top of middle stump. And he swung it nicely behind square for a boundary. The first in a while. Sankar has to be careful here. The batsmen are trying to get at him, so he has to be concentrated. He's already conceded 1 boundary. And another, this one is into the gap, but it's bouncing again. And the batsman only limited to the one time. Bhutan again thought he had a chance at a catch there. Came screaming in off the ropes. But they had to settle for another single. So it's been a real struggle for them to keep the scoreboard ticking over quickly. And that will help, because they need as many of those as they possibly can now, Victoria. After they were sent into bat, and they lost their first wicket with 32 on the board. That's when Warner went. Caught Bhutan bowled Sanka. Then it was 68 for 2 when Julian was unfortunately run out for 11, a direct hit. Then it was 76 for 3 when Cruikshank was bowled by Dale. In the air it goes. There's a long chase out there. Bhutan thought about it. But like it took a while for him to pick it up. And then it's almost like he stopped. And then he started to move again. And came close to it, but not close enough to get under it. But you could see him actually cut off, and then almost he had to find the ball a second time. And by that time, the ball was dropping to the ground safely. So they got 127 for 4 now. And that's a wide. Although the batsman was right next to it, the ball was so wide that the umpire had no choice but to call it a wide, which could be a little confusing for bowlers, because the rule is if the batsman moves early, then the marker moves with him. But bowlers are always bemused by it all, because the umpires always, well, most times, stick to the original rule of wide. And I see out caught behind, having a big almighty swing there, Eric Garcia. He goes for 21, and another breakthrough here. Shiva Sanka picks up his second. So it's now 128 for 5. Sanka picks up his second. Again, having an almighty swing, but only finding the bottom of the bat, and that allows Chadian Raymond to make his way to the middle. So Chadian Raymond will come and see if he can light up the oval here. But end the innings with a flurry. And this is not the time they want to be losing wickets. It's not like they have a big score already on the board. They still need to build here. Every delivery could be crucial. So Pestano is going to bowl out, not for 20 from his 3 so far. And a little talking to So now here we go. With a man at deep cover. Third man on the boundary. Long on the boundary. Into the gap it goes. The man at square leg has a long chase, but he won't get there. It's so well placed. Again, wasn't hit all that hard, but he placed it so well. And the ironic thing about that is the man at long on never moved. Only one man was chasing after that ball, and that was the man at almost a square leg. He's forward a square. He's at mid wicket. He's a little bit square, but let's see. And this time, Joachim turns down the chance at the single. He obviously feels he has to do the heavy lifting here now. He's up to 31. Can he get up to 50 when it's all said and done? Another dot ball, and those are like kryptonite at this stage of the innings. You don't want to see it. That's if you're a batting team. If you're a fielding team, you're glad. And again, that's even better. Pitching up, but just wide outside that off stump. And most time the batsmen are trying to muscle the ball somewhere on the onside. And that's a good hit. That's a brilliant hit this time. And straight over the bowler's head. Safe and solid. And that goes all the way. And boy, he was waiting on that. Got it right there in the slot. All he had to do was make good contact. That he did. And there it goes. From the minute it went up, the man at mid-off realized that he was just chasing after it for retrieval purposes. Never had a chance. So that's a big 6. They need a couple more like that. 138 for 5 now. We have one legal delivery left in over number 19. Pestano's figure is solid here now. Not for 30. So he has one delivery left. And again, not able to really get it off the square. So he will end up at naught for 30 Pestano. And at the end of 19, it's a 138 now for 5.
At the end of the 19th over, 138 for 5. Joachim on 37.
So this is it. Here now, they're going to need to scramble every run possible out of these next 6 deliveries. Push and run, swing. And even when you swing hard, you still have to try to ensure that even if it doesn't go to the boundary, that at least you get a couple runs out of every delivery here now. So it will be interesting to see how they go. Sween is the man. Sween has been guilty of bowling a proliferation of wides. Can he really tighten up here now and not give them any freebies? And that's a good hit, but these might only get a single out of it. They want a second run. That was not there. Good little scrambling there by Mullen. Got to the ball quickly. And they'll do bubble dip. Limited them to just the one. So Raymond goes up, is off the mark. He's on one now. And Joe Kim, who's on 37. Waits on Sween. How that missed is anybody's guess, but he was looking to cut it. He was outside the leg stump, obviously opening up the offside. But instead of using the offside, he opted to go through the onside and missed it, but it also missed the stump. That could so easily have taken the stump on the way through. Sween pitches up, and that's helped away nicely. That's carved away for another boundary. So that's precisely what the doctor ordered. Can they get this up to 150? 139 it is now. Sween was over pitching, and Joakim wasn't going to miss out. So 3 legal deliveries left. A 6 and 2 4s, 2 6s and a 4, 3 6s, 3 4s. Which is it? Which combination are we going to get? And we should have gotten a single, but they obviously, I think Raymond has decided he's going to let Joakim get all the strike. See if he can't really lift his team here now to that 150 mark. They may feel they're about 40, if not more, runs short. And that's a brilliant piece of bowling again, and he's given out. Caught behind. That's a good catch there. So he goes for 41. So good bit of wicket keeping here by Sukwa. And Sween has his man just to add even more pressure on the Victoria batting lineup. They've lost another wicket. Wicket number 6 goes down now. And only 143 on the board. And they have just one delivery left, Daniel Babb. Talk about playing with house money. You have the freedom to swing. You don't even need to take a guard. Just get there and swing. Where the fielders are is of no interest. Swing hard, make contact, and run hard if you don't think it's going to get to the boundary. Sween, this has been a pretty good over. And that one is hit. That's going to go out to the ground. And what a way to end it all with a 6. So Sween spoilt it there. And so to get to 149 for 6. Raymond was 1 not out. Babb with a 6 off the last ball. He is 6 not out. 149 for 6 when it was all said and done. And the 34 for Jeremiah, 41 to Joakim, and they were the principal scorers, 21 to Garcia, but not much else after that. But 149 for 6, you'd really think that they were well short of where they want to be, but Cricket is a strange old game, as we say, and we'll have the KFC Clarke Road United's reply when we come back. They need 150 for a victory.
Going from the Willie run together.
150 runs the target for KFC Clarke United. 149 for 6 was all Profilbao Victoria United was able to muster up. Run chase just about to get underway.
So immediately they off the mark here, Sukhdev Singh just picking off Chidian Raymond's first delivery to get the innings on the go. Remember, it's 150 is the target, the victory target. And you get the impression that they shouldn't have too much by way of horror to get to that total unless something dramatic happens. As soon as in the air, there's a man getting under it. McDale is in trouble. He's dropped it. Well. And to compound it, I think it went into the boundary for 4.
Definitely not what Victoria would need at this point. Had that chance to get the wicket here. Was right there for the taking.
He had it, and then he didn't have it. So that is the real issue there. Is that Dwayne Charles out there who seemed to have it under control?
What went wrong? Did he go too hard at the ball?
He probably did, and then he took it so low. And that's why you say when you're going to take those catches, try to take them high. So even if they bounce out, you get a second bite of the cherry. A wide signal there, so it's been a bit of a mixed bag. He's been persisting on that leg stump just outside the legs. Raymond. First ball went for a single. Second one was the drop chance that it eventually went for 4. And here he is again outside the leg stump for a wide. This one is in the air this time. You would think, but nobody could get there. Well. Talk about living a charmed life there indeed. Warner was closing in, so too was Crookshank, but neither one could get there. And would you believe it, Markdale lives to fight another day.
Well, Raymond is giving them exactly what the team would ask of him, but no one is receiving in the catching department. 7 without loss now.
You would think it was high enough that somebody could have gotten under it. First of all, the first one should have been gobbled up at fine leg. And they want to single again, some indecision. But once more, the single, Patrick, didn't seem to be too enthusiastic about a run out, but you could see they'll hesitate. Or rather, Sukhdev Singh it was who was the one hesitating there as he was driving. This is Dale again. This time, he's dropped it again. Well. Straight down his throat. And it was at a much more comfortable height this time, just about head height. All he had to do was accept it, and he spilled it yet again.
I'm absolutely stunned. Twice the same fielder.
Yep, it is. Dwayne Charles.
Twice it went over the boundary as well. Wonder if the sun might just be in his eye.
It is. That is a reason. Could be a reason for it, but you cannot afford to miss two chances like that. We're still in the first over. They could easily have taken Markdale on 3 separate occasions in this over already. And now they're going to scamper a quick single. That's good cricket. So when it's all said and done.
Yeah, he does have on the sunglasses from what I can see.
It's 15 without loss at the end of over number 1. Off and running here. Oh, what an eventful first over. You had 2 that went to hand and a third that almost got there. And but when it was all said and done, the 2 catches, the 2 that went to hand, weren't accepted. You really have to take those catches. You cannot afford. So Daniel Babb is the man.
At the end of the first over, 15 without loss.
Daniel Babb bringing some spin from Brian Lara Pavilion end.
And that one beat everybody. It was well caught at slip. And it went past the keeper. And Jeremiah anticipating well. So it was from bowler to slip. And again, is it a dead ball?
Why would that be?
Oh yeah, I think he knocked down the stumps, the bails at the non-striker's end. So his arm probably just brushed it on the way through. It's a good shot, but he won't get anything for it. That's brilliant in the outfield. And they really need some stops here now just to help them forget the disappointment of that first over. And from the time that's middle there, that's gone. You don't want to stray onto Markdale's pads too often. Eventually, he's going to make you pay.
He's bowling and releasing from quite close to the stumps, as was evidenced by that dead ball earlier. Not getting too much turn at this point, just seeming to drift it away from 2 left-handers. Or maybe that might be the plan, to take it away from them.
Yeah, he does. He's not spinning the ball much. And they're going to get one, possibly a second. Yes, they're going to take on the arm. Oh, no, they won't. For a moment, they thought they were, and they seemed convinced that they were going to take it. And with Damian Joachim having to throw the ball from almost just about 3 or 4 meters in from the boundary, you would think they had more than enough time to get one on the arm, but they decided against it.
Well, they have that luxury given this quick start.
And again, Sukhdev Singh placing it well. And bringing Joachim into play.
So 23 without loss after 2. Seems so far that Dial has come out there to be quite aggressive at the top of the order.
Yeah, that's it. That looks like the instruction that he's been given.
23 for 2. 23 doubles after 2 win.
Another quick single. So this is good running on the part of these two. They're not dwelling about here. They're really trying to squeeze everything. And a wide signal there. The umpire signals wide, but there was an appeal for a possible catch at the wicket.
Again, that similar plan, leg side line, almost resulting in a wicket. See that as well with his 2 deep fielders in this power play, fine leg and square leg.
And again, they attacking the ball, but for a moment there, they looked like they were going to go for the single. Then a change of heart.
It'd be something that the fielders could look at as well, just try to test them out with those singles.
Playing and missing. That's a good delivery. Just seemed to climb over the blade of the bat.
When Riemann gets it right, he does produce quite nice deliveries, but sometimes he just tends to stray a bit too often.
Again, too short. This is going to be tight, and again, they don't pick it up cleanly. Once more, the cardinal sin. If you're going to effect the run out, the first thing is to get to the ball quickly, pick up the ball, and then have a go at the stumps.
Of course, everything happens in such quick time, but you want to try to slow it down as much as you can. Try to ensure everything is done correctly.
And another wide delivery. Patrick was the guilty man on that occasion. And for a team that has a below par score, you cannot afford to be gifting your opponents opportunities like that, near run outs. You're not picking up the ball. Twice now we've seen that.
It was certainly quite a spirited bowling effort from Clarke Road earlier, especially at the death.
And this time they're appealing for another catch at the wicket. And they won't get it. The umpire is signaling a wide, so there was no touch.
He's done that twice in the over. I wonder if he's heard anything or if he's just trying to entice the umpire to not signal wide.
We see a lot of wicket keepers do that quite a bit. Every time they sense that there is a possibility of a wide delivery, they go up in appeal. That's well played, and that's going to scream away for 4. You give him that width, he's going to really punish you, Martel. So vicious shot there. There was a big diving effort to try and cut that off, but that one had real power on it, real pace. So already it's 32 on the board, and more runs. A couple here. I don't think it's gonna get a boundary, and but they're gonna. Pick them off again, so that ends the over. And at the end of over number two is number three, rather, is 34 without loss.
At the end of 3 overs, KFC Clarke United Sports Club, 34 without loss.
Just to give you an idea in terms of a quick comparison, Victoria with 32 without loss after 3. I mean, just making sure. And here we go again, Daniel Babb. And that's a gift that is gleefully accepted. And that has gone all the way for another maximum. A low full toss that he just got inside of and says, thank you very much. And he's not going to miss out on too many of those, Mark Dial. So he pushes on to quickly now to 26 from 13. Trying to entice the batsman to come out there. But he doesn't have to. Mark Dale is trying to punish him through the onside. And that's another big hit. That's another one that's gone. And gone a long way of that. Another maximum. Second of the over. Mark Dale's on fire now. He goes quickly on to 32. And the scoreboard ticks over quite nicely now for Clarke Road.
He's really enjoying this bowling here from Daniel Babb. Match up in his favor. Babb trying to entice him wide, as you mentioned, but it's not wide enough for Dial. Still in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, the score pushes on to 47 now without loss. When this over started, it was 32. It was 34, rather. And they have the more runs. And again, the fielder cannot haul it in. And it's going all the way for another boundary.
Can't afford those misfields with this sort of target. 50 partnership up in very quick time.
And we're not trying to pick on him, but that was Dwayne Charles who misfielded there again. So he had the 2 drop catches down at that side, and he is again and another wide. So the 50 on the board, now 52 for no loss.
I don't think we're going to need to pick on him. The ball usually tends to follow him around when you're off to such a start.
And another. And another. Just help yourself here, Mark. And he is just obliging the fans here to some serious stroke play.
It's real entertainment here by Mark Dial. He's here for a real good time. And you see down there as well, someone just opened up that gate at the same time. As if he wanted the ball to go outside.
He probably was thinking to try to get the one that went earlier. See if he could see if it's still lying in the road there. And he almost had to go and retrieve a second one.
There's still 2 overs of power play remaining after this as well.
Yeah, but it's good execution on the part of Dayal and Sukhdev Singh. They've given their team a real good platform here, a real launching pad. 57 on the board. And he's looking for more. He's going to get a single. And Dayal has gone to 43. And Sukhdev Singh, who's been a relative spectator, is on 10. He's back on strike now. Can't get it through as the over comes to an end. 4 completed now. It's 58 without loss. Runs coming from that over. Pretty expensive one. Probably the most expensive over of the match so far. So Dale is on 36. So Dwayne Charles, the man who has really come in for some really rough treatment via some drop catches and a bit of misfielding, gets a chance to redeem himself.
And Mark Dayal waits at the other end for him.
Well, it might be poetic justice. He dropped him a couple times. Can he remove him with the ball? No. That's not going to hurt.
A very packed offside field inside the ring.
I'm surprised they don't have a man sweeping on the offside, or maybe even take the long on and take them long on, the middle one, and put him back at long on, because Dayal is going to really go after him here now.
And he loves to target that long on and mid-wicket area.
And another wide signal by the umpire. So it hasn't gone according to plan here for Victoria. First they were put into bat. They didn't really get the type of score they were hoping for. And now they can't seem to prize out a wicket. In the air it goes. Is it going to be caught this time? Settling under it, takes the catch there. Good running effort. And for a moment there, it looked as if, but hey, Dwayne Charles has done it. And he's gotten the wicket that he wanted. 36 it is to Dayal.
43 he ended up on.
43.
Got his man in the end, but not before he was able to wreak some havoc.
So Jordan Warner takes the catch. A good running catch from Warner. Kept his eyes on it. And I would imagine at that stage, Dale probably knew that he was in trouble there. But he was hoping, against hope, that he would get another life. It wasn't to be. And he goes for a breezy 43.
I believe Jesse Bhutan making his way out. Oh, Vikash Mohan.
Yeah, it is Vikash Mohan. another accomplished batsman, one who can score fairly quickly as well. So Charles can't relax. He's gotten the wicket, to his credit, after he was much maligned for his 2 drop catches. He somehow came back and got his man. But those would have been 2 expensive drops because they actually occurred in the first over.
Might have been telling his captain that he should open the bowling.
Well, that's like telling me, I should smoke a cigarette if I want to stop chewing gum. And Charles is bang on target. He's a tall man, but he seemed to get small to deliver the ball instead of really standing up tall and putting it down. He seemed to almost like he crouched at the delivery. But it's like he doesn't really stand up tall and bang it into the wicket and get it to kick off the surface.
A bent front leg.
Yep. Quick arm action, but again, you'd really like to see him really stand up there and wheel it over. But this is a pretty good over after it started with that huge wide to begin with. He's really come back well. He has a wicket also.
Operating with his 2 deep fielders at third and cover.
And that's a good shot. That's in the gap. That's gone. Brilliantly played. And what a way to get off the mark. 4 runs. He was pitching up again, Charles.
Yeah, that movement doesn't last long with this white ball, and that was supremely played by Vikash Mohan. What a way to get off the mark.
Yeah, good timing, good placement more than anything else. There was a mid-on and a straightish mid-wicket, both on the edge of the circle, but neither one had a chance. This time they get a quick single. Raymond trying to get there quickly, but can't prevent that run. So this has been an interesting over. 2 wides to begin with, then the wicket, then 2 dot balls, and that's before the boundary came, and then a single. So he still has 1 ball left in this over to end it, and picked off nicely for another single. So finally that over comes to an end. A wicket taken in it, but it's 67 for 1 after 5.
Yeah, that wicket came in the over, but still 8 runs coming from it. Well ahead of the required rate, just about 5.5 now, thanks to that blazing start.
Actually, 9 came off that over, when you think about it, because they were 58 without loss after 4. And now it's at 67. Yep. So Charles 1 for 8. So Eric Garcia is going to pick up the attack now. Had a decent score.
Can he back up that wicket over with another wicket in this over?
Yeah, they need to take wickets. That's a given here. They can't defend this. I don't think so. So they have to. The best way to give themselves a chance is to keep taking wickets. Skipper taking a while to set the field. He wants to make sure he gets it just right. That's another one. And these bowlers are flirting with no balls because they're bowling very close to the wicket, the adjacent wicket.
Well, that seems to be the theme for today. The theme for yesterday was we had 3 balls on the roof.
Well, maybe there was a fiddler up there that they were aiming at, trying to get him down. Actually, that started wide, but then it straightened. A little bit of swing there. Again, the bowlers are giving the ball a fair amount of time to do that. It's just that started so wide.
To get the ball to swing back from that angle he's coming over the wicket was quite impressive.
Yeah, let's see if he could move it the other way now, but just started closer to that off stump. And that one is very wide again.
So interestingly, 2 fielders in the deep this time at cover and long off.
So we have that a little adjustment in the field there. So we now have the 3 men behind the bat on the offside. So there's like a short third man, and well, I have to say 2 third men and a backward point. And this one starts on that off and middle stump. So I've seen this field before where they have those 2 men. If they were slipped, they would have what a fly slip and a third man. But there's a straight third man and there's a wider third man, and then there's a backward point, very close together. This one, same movement back in, but it started too wide on that occasion.
So he's really trying to get the outside edge of Sukhdev Singh, trying to get him flashing to get one of those third man fielders.
Sukhdev Singh has been relatively quiet. Dial was doing the heavy lifting. He's just trotting along there, 11 from 10.
I think they're just overthinking things a bit here. Sukhdev Singh, as you say, has been rather silent up until this point. There's not too much danger there. Just stick to a bit more basics. You might still get him out. This stage already given away 4 runs. He's just gonna tire himself out now, Garcia, bowling extra deliveries.
Well, by the time he's finished with 2 overs, it might be as he's bowled his full quota. That's a strong one. That's a very close indeed. And he's out. Right up to Sukhdev Singh. He played across it and was plumb in front. He goes for 11. And Garcia picks up Pepper.
Exactly. Keep things simple. Just target the stumps, and he's gotten his man now. Unless those wides were part of the plan, just to maybe get him trying to go across the stumps. Exactly what he did, but much better delivery that time.
So 71 for 2 now. So we've had this proliferation of wides. So is it Keon Otley who's making his way up to the middle? And we all know how capable Otley is. And so he's at the crease now together with his captain. Utley is sometimes the captain of this team, maybe in different competitions. He captains the team, and in the white ball format, Vikash Mohan is given the opportunity to lead the team today.
Even throughout the 2 day at times, I saw Yannick Otley captaining the
Mhm.
team.
So they're spreading it around. Everybody gets a chance at leadership. But here's this man now with his tail up, Eric Garcia, looking for another one. Won't get it there, but it's not a bad delivery. First up for Utley. So can they just keep taking wickets? That's the whole idea here. Very little margin for error.
So exactly as we were thinking, Garcia able to back up that previous over with another wicket taking over.
And there's another one that had Utley fishing outside that off stump there. He just seemed to walk into the shot. He didn't really play a shot. He just left the bat hanging out there. And luckily for him, he didn't get a touch. So a little bit of a nervy start this for Keon Utley. Driven nicely into the gap. He's going to get off the mark quite comfortably with that. And that will obviously make him feel a little bit better, given the fact that he found the middle of the bat. That ends the over. And at the end of over number 6 on the power play, it's 72 for 2. You do a quick comparison of the power play. When Victoria were batting, they were 47 for 1 after their 6 overs.
Yeah, they may have just been trying to keep wickets in hand. Of course, reminder that this surface today, not the same one that was used yesterday that produced that 241 run total.
So Damian Joking.
Much experience with Joachim in his bowling. Well, they've changed that now. They've gone back to Charles.
Oh yeah, they've had a change of heart. Yeah, they have to give him a second over. He got a wicket, and he actually ended up bowling a pretty decent over. And
It's interesting. He started his first delivery was over the wicket, and then right away after that, changed around the wicket and got that wicket after a few deliveries.
they actually were 2 wides he started with, and then tightened up significantly. In fact, he got a wicket in the 3rd ball. Well, the first ball, what turned out to be the first legal delivery. He's again starting from around the wicket. And Utley, this time, looks a lot more like himself. So Clarke looking to join last night's winners, Queen's Park. Picked up a big win.
As well as Central Sports Yorkshire in the second game.
That's another Yorker length delivery right up in the block hole. Right up in the block hole from Charles.
So now, after that power play phase, Charles electing to have some more fielders in the deep. 3rd man cover. Backward square, long off and long on.
It's going to get a single. Actually, it's a boundary. There's nobody out there. The ball just seemed, nobody seemed urgent about it. So I wasn't seeing in that corner there. So I thought there was a field out there. Everybody just seemed to turn around and stand and watch.
I think he picked the gap quite well there, but also to be fair to the fielders, that is the shorter side of the ground.
So once it passes the inner ring, it's very difficult to catch up with it. That western side of the ground today, because we're playing at the far end of the strip. More problems here. That's going again. A real gift outside the legs and just about waist high. Another maximum.
Yeah, I got exactly what it was asking for, that delivery. And towards the halfway broken down concert stage.
Yeah, it was just about the knee roll, and he just whipped it, got under it, and just helped it. Didn't try to hit it too hard. He let the pace of the bowler do that for him. So Dwayne Charles, 1 for 19 now.
Yeah, that was a quite well played shot. Many times you see that full toss and try to put too much power to it. All he did was time it exactly where it was headed.
So can he tighten up here again? That's much better. Charles on that middle and off stump. The question is, can he stay there? And Vikash Mohan knows he doesn't have to hurry too much. Without any bother at all, he's picked up 10 runs in this over already. And they're going to have to hurry for the next one. If he hits, he's out. He misses. Well. Brilliant bit of fielding there. He picked it up. He got a good bounce, I must say that. He picked it up and had a shy at the stumps, and Jeremiah just couldn't connect. He would have been out by a good foot or so. As the over comes to an end at the end of 7, now it's 84 for 2, but it could so easily have been 84 for, or 83 for 3. Talk about fortune favoring the brave there. He really took off thinking he had an easy single, and then he had to put on the afterburners, as they say, and try to get home. And even then, he would have been short.
He's counting his lucky stars.
It wasn't the identical spot, but it was close to where Julian got run out. And it was a direct hit from almost that same angle that I got rid of Julian at the same end. It was almost that from that square leg position there.
And they need a jaunty Rhodes there.
Yep, he just needed to hit the stump. Any one of the three. Or just take off the bail. Easy pickings there, Eric Garcia. Drifting onto the pads. So Clarke Road well underway here, 85 for 2 now. He needs 65 from 77 deliveries. So when you already have or need fewer runs than balls available, you know you're in good shape. Plus they have 8 wickets in hand. So everything in their favor at the moment. So Otley it is now, who is on strike. He's on 2 from 4. Hasn't really gotten it into the groove as yet.
He doesn't have to overcomplicate it too much, just bat himself back into rhythm. That platform that's been set, and Mohan looking quite in form at the other end.
Yeah, Clarke Road, they've had a good history in domestic cricket, even in the limited overs format, the white ball format. They've done well. Victoria now finding their way, and that's part of the issue with them. Their bowlers are not consistent right now. They're not consistent with their lines, they're not consistent with their lengths. And as a result, even in between the good deliveries, we have these numbers of wides and half volleys and really gifts, I would have to say, to the batting team. So without taking too many risks, Clarke Road are just whittling down their target.
Apart from the wides, it's been quite a good spell from Eric Garcia.
I think they learned their lesson there, because it was a shot like that almost got the run out at this end in the same general area where the fielder was tracking it down, and it's the same man trying to close down that ball before it goes down the hill. And they thought they had an easy single until he made good progress, Jeremiah. For a moment, they thought the umpire was going to expand his arm. He seemed to just drop his arm to get it into the flapping position, and then he decided against it.
I was anxious waiting for that myself.
88 for 2. The place is a little bit quiet. I don't know if the spectators anticipated an explosion here from Clarke Road, or maybe they want to see some quick wickets.
Friday evening, waiting to see if the crowd grows a bit. That second game coming up later between two of the heavy hitters. Best Motors Marching Patriots and Powergen Penal Sports Club, winners of the 50 over and 30 over tournament.
Yeah, 8 overs completed now, 88 for 2. Yeah, so Clarke Road well on their way here. Clarke Road, of course, would probably want to get a little bit jealous. They don't want, they wouldn't want to have the boys from Powergen Penal just run away with titles while they are still around and still competing, and competing at a higher level as well. So Damien Joachim has decided he's going to take it upon himself now. Down the hill it goes. That's going to run down the hill for 4 runs. The reverse coming into good effect here. And he was in that position very early indeed, Vikash Mohan, and picks up 4 good-looking runs and pushes on now to 22 from 12 as Clarke Road continues this march towards victory. They need another 58 for the win. So they're doing the smart thing. Even when they're not picking up the boundaries, they're still keeping the scoreboard ticking over. Rotate and strike as much as they possibly can. And a strange onside field. And they're trying to turn it on the. In fact, that's the gap that he was seeing there, Keon Otley. You look at the onside field, there's a short fine leg, a deep square leg, a deep mid wicket, and a long on, all in the boundary. Well, except for the short fine leg, who is inside the circle. Nobody on the onside in front the bat. So all he has to do is just turn it in there, and that's an easy single. And that's exactly what he's done. So, as a captain, you probably as they say, pick your poison, and they've decided that they will give them that single. But the funny thing about it, it's a left-arm orthodox spinner who's bowling to a left-hander. So all he has to do is just turn the face of the bat with the turn, and he's going to get a single every time. And Vikash Mohan is doing his bit as well, just to keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Of course, there's always that talk about matchups when it comes to like left-arm spinner versus left-handed batter, but you always need to have the right field set as well.
And for a moment there, they thought about it. A stifled appeal. Yeah, correct. But I'm just looking at the field that they have set, and they have that whole wide area there, as if they're tempting him to go through there. The end of the over, 95 for 2 at the end of over number 9.
I saw a similar sort of field being exhibited yesterday, where it was a lot of deep fielders on the leg side and fielders on the off side.
Nobody close in. Have a single, but no boundaries. I suppose that's what the captain is saying.
And to be fair, that was when they were defending 242.
Which is unusual, you know, but it happens. And see what happens. 24 to Mohan, 4 to Utley, the 2 men out. Sukhdev Singh for 11 and Mark Dayal for 43. And a little bit of a bubble in the field there, but they will get the single all the same. So Matthew Patrick.
Utley still not quite in full flow from 11. He's supporting Mohan quite well right now.
Yeah, and this is a good opportunity for him to probably just spend some time out in the middle and, you know, get acclimatized to the conditions here at the Oval. Even though you play a lot of cricket here, you still have to adjust to it.
They're going to be here for a few weeks.
Yeah. So you might as well get used to it, because you're not going to get opportunities to practice out in the middle. So this is your practice now, and you're under no pressure at all. This could be an out, and well, really suicidal there. Indeed, Vikash Mohan never should have accepted that call, and he goes run out by a country mile, as they say. Good pickup, good return, and easy pickings.
I never found the gap, just found the fielder, and the fielder didn't fumble any bit. So 3rd wicket down now, 4 away from 100, but still things quite a comfortable state for Clarke Ridge United, and a much needed drinks break for everyone out there. So we'll take a short break as well.
So to welcome you back here, we just had an unfortunate run out there of Vikash Mohan, who looked to be in total control, and then he accepted a single that was never on, and now Sukwa is at the crease, and he's immediately off the mark.
Yeah, Mohan's the captain today, so has no one except himself to be blamed by.
Yeah, but it was the ball was two things were wrong there. It was hit hard, and it was hit too close to the fielder, and you had to at least wait and see if he was bobbling it or it was going to go past him, and neither of those happened. And in the end, it was a good, clean pickup and a nice return to the keeper, who all he had to do was just remove the bails, which he did, and they accounted for wicket number 3. So it's now 98 for 3. Patrick completes his first over. 10 completed now, 98 for 3 at the halfway stage. 43 to Dayal, 25 to Mohan, and 11 to Sukhdev Singh. They are the top scorers so far in this game, in this innings, I should say. Earlier, we had 41 from Joachim and 34 from Jeremiah for Victoria. So Joachim continues, and again the reverse is brought in to effect. Didn't really connect. Got a leg by all the same. And again, it's premeditating there because he was committed to that shot. Had to feel for the ball. Almost a return catch. Did he get it? But was it on the bounce? Now they're trying to claim a catch. And it would be interesting. Now, did he actually get across to that? He actually went behind the batsman, the non-striker, and came up with the ball. Now, did it go? It was difficult to see. He had just pulled out of it, but that would have been a stunning catch had he gotten under it. But I don't think the umpire is going to give it. He's showing the umpire that he got his fingers under it, but the umpire not buying it. Nice try. And sometimes as a fielder, you put your hand there and you think it fell into your hand, but it jumped up into your hand. Easy does it. Because they're under no real pressure here. The 100 is on the board in the 11th over. And, you think that Victoria got to 100 in the 15th over.
Sometimes as well, he got it or didn't get it, and sometimes it's proven to be otherwise.
Yep. It happens because a lot of wicketkeepers sometimes will tell you they're not sure because they're the ones who either dive in or trying to make a spectacular save. And so a lot of times they tell you they're not sure if they took it cleanly. And that's because their head wasn't, over the ball. They were probably catching and breaking at the same time because they were in a sort of a compromised position. And they leave it to the umpires to sort it out. And the technology.
I guess signs from a keeper's perspective, it is difficult to tell with the gloves on.
Yeah. It's not about again, they're trying to manufacture a shot here. And when I don't think they need it at this stage. 102 for 3 now after 11. So things just sort of meandering at the moment. But this young fella here, Sukwa, looks like he wants to get on with things. He doesn't want to prolong the agony too much longer. Just as I say so, he plays a perfect forward defensive.
He admired it as well.
He might probably try to belt the next one. There he goes. That's more like it. That could be a catch. And he took it. Wow, wow, wow. What a good running catch out there. And that is Chidian Raymond. And he gleefully accepted that. And just as I was talking about Sewa trying to get on with things, he holds out in the deep. So a brilliant running catch. Very close to the ropes, but he kept his balance and has every reason to celebrate Raymond.
Yeah, brilliant there from Chidian Raymond. Sukwa playing that one against the turn into the offside. Not getting enough to clear Raymond, and that's 4 wickets down now. Here comes Jesse Bhutan.
So it's 102 for 4. So Bhutan, we know, loves to put bat to ball.
We certainly expect to see quite a few shots being played here by Jesse Bhutan.
Man with the big number on his back, 221. I would imagine, referencing his personal highest score. In American football, you choose your numbers based on the position you play in. Most quarterbacks have like the individual numbers 1, 7, 8, 9. Some have double-digit numbers, but in the main, a lot of them have the single digits. The linebackers are the ones that have the high numbers. And then the linemen are the ones who push 99 and some high numbers.
Not too familiar with where Jesse Bhutan would have scored that highest score.
He's trying to get at his man. Patrick is doing a pretty decent job here. Is the game changing? Are we in for a real twist in the tail here now? They prize out another wicket early, cheaply here. Who knows? 5 down? That's well played by Bhutan. Got right out to it. And then with a nice fluent drive, stroked it down to long on. So he's off the mark. Utley, though, has had his troubles. 6 runs, but he's faced 17 deliveries. Now we were saying this is comfortable for him to bat. That's because Vikash Mohan was doing so well. Now Utley might be thinking he needs to step up.
When you look at that, you wonder if that run out would have changed the trajectory of things here.
We see another over completed. 12 gone, 103 for 4. Just the 1 run in that over. So pretty good over from Patrick and the wicket. He has 1 for 4 from 2. So all of a sudden, they need 47 runs from 48 balls. So the game now has really tightened up quite nicely. All of a sudden, Victoria might be thinking, here, maybe we're in with a chance here.
They certainly have to believe if they're to get closer to a victory. Joachim will be key in that as well as Matthew Patrick. Joachim very experienced. So far has kept things very tight from this end.
Think back to the drop catches early. And the 43 runs that McDale scored. You take that out of the equation now, and you have a totally different game, you know.
We saw Daniel Babb that spinner bowling earlier, but Joachim himself isn't a stranger to bowling early on in the game.
So Jesse Bhutan can't seem to get going just yet against the spin of Joachim. He's not really spinning the ball much, but his line is pretty good. He's attacking the stumps, and that is probably what is putting off Bhutan for the moment. And that's much better. You could see him walking into that one, trying to get to the pitch of it. Tell you what though, if Victoria could prize out another 2 quick wickets here and put the cat among the pigeons, who knows how this game will go in the end. Might go right down to the wire. And you see they've plugged the gap now. They've at least put one fielder in front of the bat on the onside, taking away that easy single. But then here's the improvisation. It's going close to the boundary and it gets there. Just ahead of the fielder.
He's attempted that shot many times. This time he finally gets one away.
He puts it in reverse and gets it past the third man.
108 for the loss of 4 wickets.
So 108 for 4 now at the end of 13. That boundary would help because it brings the equation down. Balls to runs. Again, 42. So 42 runs from 42 balls. That's where we are right now. Difference is though, they still have 6 wickets in hand, and they have Keon Utley still out there, although he hasn't lit up the place just yet.
There's absolutely nothing difficult about the equation. It's about that pressure being built by the bowlers here.
But there are easy singles to be had. Could play it square the wicket on the onside by the umpire, or push it into the cover region and take off for a quick single. There you go. Play it on the onside. They might get a second run if they hurry here. They should. And that's basically what we call taking what the bowlers are giving you and the captain. And so now this is dangerous because he's trying to plug that gap at square leg. Push him just to the left of of the umpire, almost forward square, almost a mid wicket, and he brought this square leg around on the boundary. You don't want to bowl too close to that part, and it swung away past the umpire. Now where the fielder was, he had to go back to his left now. He was almost right there. They brought him around to his right. Luckily, the ball was curling in towards him, and he did well.
He must be telling the bowler, let me go back where I was.
So now they're making the adjustment. Now they brought the fielder back now from forward of square to a short fine leg. And another easy single. Plenty of gaps in the field. So they shouldn't feel under any pressure at all to score. They'll probably score off every ball if they wanted to. On 13 now for 4. And beat him outside the off stump. No touch. But again, you could see Keon Utley there trying to force the issue. And Patrick almost got a second wicket.
Beautiful bowling here from Matthew Patrick so far in his spell.
And again, so Utley is having his problems. He's not really getting on top of the bowling. 113 for 4 now after 14. So 14 overs. So we have the last 6 overs here. Not many people thought we'd get down to this far, this deep in the innings, but here we are. Still have work to do. 37 from 36 now. And they should be thinking of a second run. And there's the bubble, and that's all they need. Once you bubble from that deep, you're really gifting the batsman a second run. So 2 off the first ball. That helps. Can't get anything there. It might have been a single because the wicketkeeper was drawn away from the stumps. But maybe they felt that he was still close enough. He probably could hit the stumps with a direct throw. It's the same as outside the off stump, and it's going down the hill. And Charles was busy looking at the appeal, was busy appealing, and didn't really track the ball. And they hit him outside the off stump, so I don't think there was any chance of a wicket there. But look at the fielder. He took the wrong angle, and he was busy looking to see if the decision was given. And the ball ran away from him. 4 leg byes. Yeah, if he had left that, might have been a wide. That's better out in the deep there. You don't want to be bubbling too many of those. Warner tidying up. The last time he was in attendance like that, there was that little bubble that cost him the second run. That's a little reverse paddle again. They're going to go back for a second run. Again, there's a bubble in the field. And once they do that, they're getting punished for it.
122 for the loss of 4 wickets after 15.
So 15 overs completed now. It's 120, 122 for 4. By comparison, Victoria after 15 were 106 for 4. So can somebody produce a really miserly over here? Maybe pick up a wicket or two, but just stifle the batting team. The problem is there's so many gaps in the field that they can really just milk the runs.
Times like these, as a fielding team, you wish for a 12th fielder.
And there was an opportunity to score, but he hit it straight to the fielder. The only man in front of the bat on the onside there. It's just a meter or two to his right in business. And again, Leonardo Julian in that position there. Remember, he was run out, although we thought he had made his ground. Down the wicket he goes. There's a man out there. I don't think he saw it because he didn't react to it early enough.
You see the keeper there reacting there for sure.
Yeah, Warner again is the man out there. And it's almost like he didn't pick it up quickly. It didn't go very high. Came back down much too soon for him. And again, Utley having his real issues here. Trying to get at the bowlers, but just can't seem to find the middle of the bat in the process. The good thing, he's still there. 13 from 23.
It's been very valuable innings. Might look at the figures, think might have been struggling, but he stayed out there.
That's good cricket. Good early pickup and a quick release. Limiting the damage to just the one run. 25 from 25. Down to the wire we go. So Utley will keep strike as the over comes to an end. 16 in the books now. 126 for 4.
At the end of 16 overs, KFC Clarke United 126 for the loss of 4 wickets.
So 24 from 24.
You can get home here in just singles.
I still feel Otley is probably going to strike a couple big blows to make the difference in the end. Well, either him or Jesse Button. Both are quite capable of doing such. But just get the impression that Otley might just middle a couple and change the whole complexion of the game. That might be the final twist that we're talking about. Another quick adjustment in the field as Patrick goes onto the offside, short third man for him. And coming back on now, Chadian Raymond. Can he deliver for his team here now? Can he produce a really good over? Maybe under 4 runs, under 5 runs, and a wicket. That would be perfect, if not 1-2. You see, again, all the Rangers, it's almost like he's not in tune with what is required in that situation there, because he needed to pick up that ball quickly and have a shy at the stumps or get it into the wicketkeeper. But he just took his own sweet time, and then, it was only when his teammates probably hollered at him, then he realized, oh shucks, I should have been doing this a little quicker. You can't be that, as we say, absent-minded on the field. You have to be aware of what is happening out there.
You see a change of personnel now.
Yeah, they've moved him on the onside, which is dangerous because he's a short, fine leg. And anything that goes past him there could very well go to the boundary. Could clean pick up. You can't afford a bubble that far from the wicket. These two are looking to punish any kind of fumble in the field.
Raymond coming round the wicket in this spell, trying to cut down on that angle.
And this one is in the air. Who's going to take it? Settling under it. And eventually he takes the catch. So Joachim takes the catch. Keon Utley goes for 15.
Well, as you were saying, Keon Utley certainly looking to attempt a few big strikes here, but that one just not big enough.
Yeah, 128 for 5 now. And Jesse Button might be carrying the load here. What a comeback this has been to Victoria. Give them credit. They looked dead and buried earlier, but they've just been pegging away.
Certainly made quite a game of it here. Quite some entertainment taking this one down to the very end.
So Raymond has his wicket. And how you would love another one. Good bowling change though to bring him back now, because he has 2 overs.
Yeah, one of the frontline bowlers didn't have the best first spell.
So you want to give him the possibility of bowling out his 2 overs. So this is the big fella who has arrived at the crease. Now, he could certainly change the complexion here without any fuss at all. Dexter Sween. All he needs is 2 big swings of the bat, and that could be that.
Interested to see what he does here first ball.
I don't know, swing. He's one of those microwaves, that doesn't really need much to get warmed up.
Interestingly, we see Leonardo Julian in a mid-off position,
He's
very
long off.
straight.
He's long stump. A full toss to get him off the mark. So again, the game really has it's really on a knife's edge here right now. A couple more wickets, and it could swing one way. A boundary or two, and it swings decidedly in the other direction.
He's now moved Julian to an extra cover position. There's third man and a wide third man as well. Deep point and deep cover. Fine leg in the ring.
So again, just the singles, so nobody's getting the ball to to the ropes quite easily. 130 for 5 now. They need another 20 runs.
150 to 5 after 17 overs. Bowling from the Brian Lara net, Eric Garcia.
Eric Garcia now. Good option to follow up Raymond from this media center end.
He has a wicket. He got a wicket of Sukhdev Singh earlier. How they would love for him to get another one. That's a gift on his legs. Turned away quite easily. And that's what you don't want.
Garcia doesn't want to be dropping the ball here.
Again, if you're bowling seam bowlers like that, you really want to give them the cover. Fine leg is almost like a given on the boundary because there's no margin for error. Essentially, that's like 3 runs. They just gifted them there, but they're going back with it. I thought they'd learned their lesson, so they decided, well, let's just tempt fate. Into the gap it goes. It goes for 4 runs. So back-to-back boundaries here now for Jesse Bhutan. And it's all final and decisive move here in favor of the batting side.
Bided his time up until this point, and now he's really unleashing. Doesn't want to take it too late.
So 12 away now.
Better there from Garcia.
Yeah, no need for him to do anything rash. You kind of let the bowlers come to you. You don't go after them too much. You already have 2 boundaries in the over. So what you do now, you just try to milk the rest of the way. If you get a half volley or a loose ball, then you put that away too. So this is turning out to be a fairly productive over for them. They're 9 off the over already. 139 for 5, so they're 11 away. And that's again, swings the bat viciously. He only got a single there, but you could see his intention.
It looked like a tennis shot there from Sween.
Yeah, like a big forearm. He was trying to open up the court with that one. Victoria probably just feeling it slipping out of their grasp, you know. This is a big over. 10 off this over already. Make that 11 of the over. That's a big over at this critical juncture. And at the end of it, it's 141 now for 5. So they need 9 more in 2 overs.
Gideon Raymond to bowl out. 9 runs and 12 balls, the equation for KFC Clarke Road. It's Raymond to Bhutan. Hits it straight, but doesn't get much contact. A brilliant Yorker there by Raymond. Still no fine leg in the deep. Those fielders in the deep at point cover. Long off. And deep mid wicket. Actually, they're just 4 fielders in the deep. And a no ball. Cardinals in here for Gideon Raymond. He can feel it.
The umpire signal no ball. Resulting in a free hit.
Well, there's very interesting field sets here. They certainly want to try to cut down on any singles on offer. Just electing to have those 4 fielders outside the ring. So a change of bat here for Jesse Bhutan. Wants a fresh piece of equipment there to make full use of this free hit. It's gone very high, but no distance on it, and it'll be caught, but it'll matter not. Just a single in the end, so decent response from Gideon Raymond. Still needing 8 runs in 11 balls.
7 runs, 10 delivery.
Dexter Sween now. He hasn't gotten any boundaries away as yet. Raymond with a brilliant bowling spell here so far. Again, that round the wicket angle working wonders for him.
Seven from 9.
Oh, it's going towards that fielder at third man, and it's only through for a single, so he did well in the end to ensure that that didn't race away to the boundary. There's two fielders there, so they would have felt quite silly had it gone past both of them.
6 runs, 8 delivery.
Full toss and fully into the stands, onto the big screen. He missed his length, and it's hurt him very badly there, Tradion Raymond. Dexter Sween has finished the match in style.
That's victory to KFC Clarke United.
Or was it Jesse Bhutan?
50 for 5.
Nonetheless, the game has finished in style by that massive blow. And KFC Clarke Road United, in the end, making their way to their first victory in this Trinidad T20 festival. Mark Dial with a wonderful bowling and batting performance. Victorious by 5 wickets there, so do stay tuned as we'll have the presentation for you very shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me just welcome you to a short presentation function. And before we proceed with the presentation of the Man of the Match Award for the KFC Clarke Road United and Profile Blue Victoria Sports Club match, the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board extends sincere thanks and appreciation to the Caribbean Premier League, the Trinbago Knight Riders, and the Queen's Park Cricket Club for their valued support of the Trinidad T20 Festival 2026 and the continued development of cricket here in Trinidad and Tobago. At this time, we invite Mr. Mark Dale to come forward to receive the Man of the Match Award for his outstanding performance of 43 runs from 18 balls, 4 overs, and 1 wicket. Rajendra Purai, the Secretary of the Premier League Committee, making the presentation. Yep, that's cool. Let me just get the two captains here quickly as we bring them. Just come on, gentlemen. Let's do this. I know it didn't go your way, but how you feel? How you felt the team fought coming down to the end there?
I must say kudos, to the Clarke Road. This is how the game go, cricket. It's just for us to go back to the drawing board to see where we went wrong and look to improve on where we went wrong.
How about your own batting? You looked like you were hitting the ball well.
Yeah, I started off well, but nevertheless, with losing the wickets, I had to come back and, take up a different role. And that's just how the game goes sometimes. So, yeah.
All right, well, all the best to you going forward. Vikas, congratulations to you. How you feel about getting a victory first up?
It's always good to start with a victory. No matter how it came, I'm grateful to start off with this kind of momentum.
Did you think it would have gone this deep?
It wasn't as clinical as we wanted. It went a bit too deep, but in saying that, that's how cricket goes sometimes. We saw that after the power play, they also slowed down. So we always know it would have been difficult to bat through the middle overs, but thankfully we can come up with a victory here.
Of course, you're trying to go one better this year than you did last year.
For sure, our eyes are on the title this year. It's been in the wilderness for a couple of years. We've been doing pretty well, semi-final, final, just to cross that last hurdle now.
All right, well, congratulations on a big win.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it, folks. The first game is in the books. Let's get ready for the game 2 here this evening. A real clean one for Patriots against Power Gen. That's coming up next.